Well, the San Antonio Spurs got their first win in the NBA Cup, improving to 1-1 in Cup play with a 110-104 win over the Thunder. Without Wemby or Vassell, they'll be without them again when they play the Jazz tomorrow night at 7. In the NFL, safety Marquise Bell's season is over, as head coach Mike McCarthy confirmed he did suffer a dislocated shoulder that will require surgery.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, gang? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining, whether that's at 94.1 on your FM dial. If you happen to be listening at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or you can watch the show live at YouTube. Just search SA Sports Star. Go ahead and like, subscribe, follow along. You can comment along with the show. Appreciate everybody for rolling through, however you may be doing it. And I'm glad you're listening today because I've got some tickets for you. That is right. The story so far is coming to the Boeing Center at Tech Point Arena on December 7th. And if you'd like to go to that show, well, I've got your tickets to go coming up later during the show. So just stay tuned if you want to go see the story so far. Great punk band just recently at When We Were Young Fest. So it was it's going to be a great show down at the Boeing Center at Tech Point Arena. May have to cop some tickets and go myself, but if you want to win some for free, keep it locked right here at Extra Innings with Pleasure. We'll give those away before the top of the hour when we go to Cowboys Crosstalk. But lots been said as Micah Parsons talks about, just how good this football team truly is.
We're a damn good football team.
And it's comical because of how bad the football team is. Yes, I understand the players are good and the players have to have that mindset. And I understand that. But when you start talking about, if you take the score out of things, the score is how we judge how good and bad football teams are. And y'all are statistically, especially at home, the worst in the NFL this season. So it's really hard to talk about how good of a football team you are with how bad you've been playing, or without mentioning how bad you've been playing and what needs to be done to fix that. But as we talk about fixing it, AJ Hoffman earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle was wondering that aloud himself. Are the Cowboys even fixable?
First, they talked to Mike McCarthy, and you'll never guess what he's talking about here. You'll never guess that he thought the run game would be more impactful this week, even though the run game is
non-existent,
completely garbage, and has been all year, and we know it's garbage. We know. He's still like, oh man, when we're able to run the ball, it's like, dude, you can't run the ball.
No,
you can't run the ball. Here's what he had to say about the run game this week.
Yeah, we took a step backwards. Yeah, clearly yesterday. So I was disappointed in just the way that laid out. So we need to do a much better job this week.
Yeah, I got news. It ain't going to get much better. It is not going to get much better. You are what we thought you were. You can't run the football. You don't have players that set you up for success running the football. and your defense sucks, so you're always behind. You can't run the football when you're behind. You talk about, I want to be a more balanced offense. I want to get the run game going. You can't. And you're not going to. It's not going to happen. Then they asked him about getting the youth more involved, which is really the way of saying, hey, the season's over. Do you want to kick the tires on some other guys and see if any of these young guys are better than some of the old guys? Just see what you're working with here.
I mean, we've been playing with youth all year, so we're going to do it. Yes. I mean, so if it lays up this way, they'll have a chance. Hopefully we get Brandon Cooks back this week, so we'll see how that shakes out.
Oh, well, Brandon Cooks will help the youth movement. Why is getting Brandon Cooks back a good thing? If you're talking about the youth movement, if you're talking about getting young guys better opportunities, more opportunities to play, what's Brandon Cooks going to do? That's not part of the youth movement. That's not part of the future of the Dallas Cowboys. And then they asked him about Dan Quinn, who obviously is the Cowboys go to play the Commanders this week, and Dan Quinn, the head coach of those Washington Commanders, doing a pretty good job. They asked Mike McCarthy about the familiarity with old Coach Dan.
It's very similar. I think Joe Witt's done a tremendous job. I mean, he's taken pretty much the system there, and he's gone in a direction that he believes in. He's been very aggressive with it, and I've been very impressed.
And also, that's the other thing. Commanders' defense isn't that good. Like the reason why, I mean, the Commanders have been really good on offense, and they're a surprise team. Their defense isn't that good.
They just got lucky.
I don't know that they're lucky, but I mean, they're winning games in a different way. The Cowboys, unfortunately, are bad on offense and defense, and that makes it really hard to win. Then you have to get lucky. You've got to have punt returns and block kicks. That doesn't happen. But yeah, this Commanders defense, if this defense is scaring you, there's something wrong. They're not that good. Now, I mean, they're better than yours.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But,
Yeah, but still.
But yeah, they ain't nothing to write home about. The Cowboys at this point, I don't know if, and they talked about Trey Lance. Everybody's saying, is it time to switch to Trey Lance? Are we going to see more Trey Lance? What do we think about Trey Lance? So for instance, yeah, they asked Jerry yesterday. I'll play this one. They asked Jerry, is it time for us to see Trey Lance?
I don't know that. I thought Rush actually had improvement last night from the game before. He didn't have far to go to get improvement, but I did think he had improvement. And frankly, there were times in that ball game that I thought it was really coming to it. And we know that we've got limited time to work with these quarterbacks at this particular time, and I would look for us to stay with the experience.
He doesn't want to change. He likes Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is a Jerry guy. But they did ask him, and this is where Jerry gets defensive, because now when you ask it like this, now it's okay, you're coming after me a little bit. You're saying I messed up. And we know Jerry doesn't like that. But they asked him if the fact that Trey Lance hasn't played at all, if that means they misevaluated him when they made the trade for Trey Lance, which is again questioning Jerry's football acumen.
No, we knew exactly where Trey Lance was when he left San Francisco. He was fourth, fifth pick in the draft. We knew he hadn't played much football. He has improved dramatically. He, unlike you've got to get out there and you've got to play. We have thought it was just too important for us to have him at rookie quarterback in these last two ball games, because we need to win to that degree and give ourselves every chance we can. We hadn't gotten to the point that we were basically looking to evaluate Trey Lance more at all. And so that's where we are. No, I liked, I know where a fourth-round pick is, and I've seen him good, and I've seen Dak Prescott's a fourth-round pick. But I've seen a lot of fourth-round picks that didn't work out too. So we really have really worked with Trey. We have evaluated Trey. We'll see what the future brings here over the next few weeks, but I'm satisfied where we are.
Think about that. No, we knew exactly what Trey was. And yeah, we gave up a 4th rounder for him. And yeah, a 4th rounder could turn into Dak Prescott. Sure. But I've seen a lot of them not work too. Well, there is the value, and I use this term a lot when it comes to draft picks. If you know what Trey Lance is, and you know Trey Lance is not good enough to even be on the field now, as bad as Cooper Rush looked a week ago, like the idea that they didn't even consider bringing Trey Lance in this last week, that tells you where Trey Lance is. So if he is exactly what you thought he was, there is more. I would rather go down to Brackenridge Park and find a guy chucking around the football with his buddy and say, let's give that guy a chance, than go with someone who I know can't do it. Wow. Because once you show you can't do it, like at least the guy down at Brackenridge, there's some unknown commodity to it. There's some lottery ticket potential to it. Once the lottery ticket is scratched and you see all the numbers and you know it's a loser, that's Trey Lance, by the way. You know it's a loser. All the numbers have been scratched. It is a losing ticket. If you've got another ticket, the chances are good that ticket's a loser too, because you're playing the lotto. Chances are good you're not going to win, but there's at least some chance with that unscratched ticket. So, like that 4th round pick, whoever it could have been, is going to would have helped you more than Trey Lance has. There's no question. There's no question, because Trey Lance can't play. You can't even put him on the field in a time when it should be automatic no-brainer.
It's like what he's there for.
Exactly.
What is he there for?
If Trey Lance can't get on the field after what we've seen of Cooper Rush,
right?
Trey Lance is never getting on the field.
Nope.
So you just lit that 4th round pick on fire. When that 4th round pick, I mean, he talked about Dak Prescott. There's a lot of good 4th round picks. Not all of them are going to be, but at least there's some chance.
So if Cooper's hurt for some reason in the game, they're going to put in the kicker to be quarterback because they don't want Trey Lance in there.
I don't know.
Who else would they put?
Well, probably Will Grier. That would be the guy they would put in next. But I do believe they're right. Trey Lance, they've seen what they need to see from him. And it's not good enough for them to warrant putting him on the field. And that's an indictment of itself. I mean, we finally saw Jonathan Mingo. He got 4 targets, 0 catches. That could be another 4th round pick that Jerry lit on fire. And 4th round picks have been beneficial to the Cowboys. We talk about Dak Prescott, Tyler Biadasz, who just signed a big deal in free agency. Michael Gallup was a 4th round pick. Like, they've hit on a lot of their 4th round picks in recent years. I believe Deron Bland was a 4th or 5th round pick. Like, they're good in that area of the draft. And they keep giving them up for these guys that already have tape. And they were enthralled by in the draft process, hoping that they could reclaim or salvage or find something amongst the scrap heaps. And it hasn't worked. And if Trey Lance can't get on the field in the next week or two, that says everything you need to know about what that was. And his contract's up at the end of the year. Now, could they be trying not to showcase anything to make sure that they get him back at the cheapest price possible this offseason? It's possible. And maybe he's QB2 going into next year. But that's also a dangerous game, because if he's going to be the immediate backup to Dak Prescott, part of you kind of wants to know what you got in your back pocket. But then again, They've seen more of him than anybody else in the league outside of San Francisco. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, the Blitz had one of the best interviews I think I'd ever heard with Bob Ballou when it comes to the state of the Texas Longhorns. And tell you the truth, I can't agree with Bob more. There is a double standard, and it's very, very evident, and he'll lay it out for you. That's coming up next. Plus, I've got tickets to go see The Story So Far, December 7th, out at the Boeing Techport Center. Stay locked in right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, the inevitable return of Rob Thompson. Will also preview Thursday night football, start looking ahead to the weekend. It is the Morning Huddle. We started here at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
Shop Dell Technologies Black Friday event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Black Friday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
I got a line.
He got a line.
She got a line.
We got 4 lines. Cricket Nation. Cue finger guns. Really easy. Super stress-free. 5G so fast, like blazing fast. Games and memes. You'll have a blast. You can get fast 5G across 4 lines. You can get fast 5G across 4 lines. As we discuss, take it from us. We 4 are one. Cricket Nation.
And only $25 a line. Welcome to more lines. Welcome to Cricket Nation. Smile. You're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Discount varies by line. Fees may apply. Terms and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
It's been a long time coming.
The official Eras Tour book coming to Target on November 29th, featuring over 500 photographs from the tour, including never-before-seen performance and behind-the-scenes images. And for the first time, the Tortured Poets Department, the Anthology, with 35 tracks on CD and vinyl.
Only at Target.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's sea to shining sea, and water damage as far as the eye can see.
It's America.
It's freshly mowed grass and a fence that was freshly vandalized by a pack of unruly teens.
It's America.
It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations? Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again.
Yeah!
Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas, exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210. 888-494-2210.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit. Introducing TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league on ESPN and ESPN+. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. To learn more, visit TGLGolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up. It's golf.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports and leagues and win money watching sports. And this season, Underdog will be running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tab when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at the win, and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me. You can follow me at Twitter, Instagram, everything at I am Pledger. You can follow the station at SA Sports Star. Appreciate however you're listening, whether that is on 94.1 FM at sasportstar.com, or if you're watching via our YouTube app, you can comment along there. Of course, you can always call in, talk to me at phone number 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. We'll talk some stories coming up. We've also got a chance to go see the story so far, December 7th, out at the Boeing Techport Center. Be sure to stay tuned to win tickets to that. But earlier today on the Blitz, Bob Ballou of KI Sports in Austin, covering the Longhorns, the sports director there for KI TV up there in Austin, was in rare form today. And I don't think I've ever heard Bob this worked up. He was so worked up that he was venting to me before going on air, and I had to be like, whoa, Bob, hold up. They're ready for you. And he was just unloading today on the narrative that surrounds the Texas Longhorns.
With good friend Bob Ballou, KI Television in Austin, Longhorn Insider, joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. I don't know if I want to start, Bob, with the committee and what they said last night and the negative talk around Texas while putting them at number 2, or the big matchup this week against Kentucky.
I'm losing my mind. I'm like in the middle of just like I'm like going off to Pledger. He's like, hold on. We got to get you on the air.
Why are you going off on Pledger? Did he call you too early? You don't want to be on hold that long?
Not on Pledger. I'm going off on just this. I understand people questioning how good Texas actually is. That's fine. I understand it. I get it. I'm not like, that's not what I'm losing my mind over. But like, they're 9-1 in the best conference in the country, and all the talk is about how mediocre or average they are, how Quinn isn't very good, how all these things. And I'm like, I just don't understand it. Like, I don't get it. Like, well, especially coming from Texas. Like, if you're a Texas fan, how are you not just like, hey, we control our own destiny. We win our last 2 games. We won the SEC title game. We can prove anything we need to from there. Like, I'm on Twitter, and I shouldn't be on Twitter sometimes because it just drives me nuts. And like I just said a minute ago, I was like, I feel like I'm Mugatu. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Well, you might
What
be,
am I-
Bob.
I mean, it is
What
awesome.
am I? Tell me.
Feels
tell
like
me
a
what I'm
lost
missing
reference
here
on
that-
them.
Okay.
Well, you're not the only
you
one.
ask some questions.
As you say that, we just got a comment on our YouTube page from Claymore, and he says, I get tired of the narrative surrounding Texas ain't played nobody. But look, we knew this going in because we talked about this the first time we talked to you before the season began, that Texas got lucky with their SEC schedule to start with. I mean, it's not I get that it's the SEC, but not every team in the SEC is good.
Didn't have to play Alabama. Didn't have to play Tennessee. Didn't have to play Ole Miss.
But they did play Vanderbilt, their toughest, the biggest win on their schedule.
Yeah, I mean, and which is in so many ways crazy because what did Vanderbilt do to Alabama? Like that's the stuff. That's what I go back to when it comes to. You can say everything you want to say about they haven't played anybody. What did Arkansas do to Tennessee and Fayetteville?
Yeah.
And we'll find out this weekend. What did Kentucky do on the road at Ole Miss? And I think, and I will say this too. I think Ole Miss is a top 3 or 4 team in the country. There's nothing about me that I love that team. I think they're fantastic.
I agree with you.
And I would love to see them play Texas. Here's I think the bigger part of all of this is like people that are hating on Quinn. Like there's so many things I want to get into that I don't want to. I feel like I want to make sure I'm answering what you want me to answer here.
Well, I want to know what you want to get into because it felt like you just wanted to take a shot at Joe Reinhagel with that last comment.
No. Because I think a lot of people are Quinn is mediocre. Okay, Quinn's not mediocre. And I'm just going to give you some of the things I just wrote on Twitter here because I think it's the only kind of a fair way to go about this. Because it's fun. It's easier for me when I put my thoughts down on paper and I'm not just flying off the handle. So let me at least get into a few things.
Paper.
He's 13th in the country in completions percentage, 16th in passing touchdowns after missing 2 games, 18th in passing efficiency, 33rd in yards per game. He has 21 touchdowns to 6 picks. Has he been the Heisman finalist everybody thought he would be? Did he take the next step that everybody wanted him to take? No, absolutely not. Does he need to be better? Sure, fine. But you also have to remember that Texas replaced 3 NFL wide receivers, a first-round pick and a second-round pick. They replaced the best running back in the country until he tore his ACL last year.
Mm-hmm.
The talent at running back and wide receiver is not as good as it was a year ago. So there were things last year that he could do that he can't do this year. Obviously, the most important stat in all of it, he's 7-1 as a starter this year. He's 17-3 in his last 20 starts. I think all of those things are critically important when you call Quinn Ewers a mediocre or an average quarterback because he's not. And I know that we can get into some of those things are just stats. Did he look terrible against Georgia? Yes. Did the whole offense look terrible against Georgia in the first half? Yes. But they've responded since then. I don't like the other part of this is people are saying about him being a game manager. What is wrong with that?
Nothing.
Texas has literally the best defense in the country. So don't turn it over offensively, punt it, and make them go 80 yards or 85 yards every time they have the ball. And you can't do it most of the time on this defense. That's playing smart football. If you win a close game 20-10 against Arkansas, isn't that better than losing 19-14 like Tennessee did?
All right, Bob, let me play devil's advocate here, okay? Because that's what I like to do. Here's the problem and why everybody in the country wants to hate on Texas. Because every year Texas is, they got the greatest recruiting class ever, the speed, the talent. Sure. Oh, my God, it's the best. It's the best. It's the best. And then they come out mediocre, and then this is what you get. And it's absolutely true. That's all we hear. Oh, the recruiting class, the talent, the speed, the this, the that, the that. And then they come out and they get destroyed by Georgia, and you barely get by Vandy or in Arkansas. And that's why people hate on Texas, right or wrong. That's why.
Which is fine, but it's fine. I have no problem with that. But like, it's been this way for 15, 20 years since Mac Brown went through that stretch until 2009 when they were awesome. They had all those great recruiting classes. Well, from 2010 to 2022, every year they had quote unquote great recruiting classes, and then it didn't produce on the field. Well, last year it produced on the field. They went 12-2. This year it's producing on the field. They're 9-1. So yes, did they lose a game to Georgia where they just played atrocious in the first half? Sure. But all those teams have done that. Alabama played we can go through all the quotes again. Alabama, quote unquote, played terrible against Vanderbilt. Well, Vanderbilt played pretty well too. And you start going game by game with those things. Ole Miss lost to, or Georgia, lost to Ole Miss 28-10.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we just like, well, I know Georgia's played a great schedule, but I think there's just this, like, you have to factor in everything. And that's why when people start talking about how many teams the SEC should get in, I think the SEC is the best conference in the country. I think all these teams with 2 losses, people are trying to start going the other way with it. I think Georgia and Alabama and Ole Miss and Texas are all very deserving of playoff spots. I don't know about Tennessee. I think we need to see how this season ends out for all of them. But in the end, all of these things that we can get upset about and all these things that we can lose our minds over, none of it really matters if Texas beats Kentucky and Texas A&M, because they're going to go play for the SEC championship game. And then they've really got a 5-game stretch from there to prove that they are the best team in the country. And if they don't do it, we revisit some of these things. We figure out what Quinn's next move is. If he's going to the NFL, if he's whatever other decision he might make, I don't know.
Well, he's not coming back. Arch is ready.
Well, I think there's a very definitive notion of that. I don't think that's like in question. But let's get through. I think all of us are looking forward to A&M, which is awesome, and I think it's going to be quite possibly one of the greatest games they've ever played, if not the greatest game they've ever played. But get through Kentucky, get out A&M through Auburn, and then we can start getting into Texas A&M. But I just think this notion that there's nothing Texas could have done. When they played Oklahoma, they were ranked 18th in the country. When they played Michigan, they were ranked 10th. When they played Vanderbilt, they were ranked 25th. They played 4 ranked teams this year. It's just none of them are ranked anymore. And I think that's I'm not saying it's not an issue. I'm just saying Texas has done what it could do to put itself in the position it's in, and there's nothing more Texas itself could have done.
Bob
I think that's all you can ask of them.
Bob Ballou from KI Television in Austin joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Like Ryan Eagle, I'm going to play devil's advocate with something you just said. This year, and just talking about this year, are we sure the SEC is the best football conference in the country when you look at what Oregon is doing, what Ohio State is doing, Indiana, Penn State? This year, is the Big Ten actually better than the SEC?
I think Georgia, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, and Texas would work Indiana and Penn State. Now, I don't know about Oregon and Ohio State, but I think those 5 programs are better. Maybe works a little. Maybe that's going too far.
No,
they are
better. We heard you, and we'll know about Indiana this Saturday.
100%. And I think that's the best part of this. We'll know about Indiana. If Texas gets the SEC title game and plays Ole Miss, we'll know about Texas. We know. I feel like it's hard. I think the other part of that that's really hard is like everybody's like, well, hey, look at Indiana. I mean, like, let me just humor me on this, okay?
All right.
Everybody wants to be on this Indiana bandwagon, which I'm all in. It's fine. I'm not like opposed to it. Indiana beat Michigan at home 20-15. Texas went to Ann Arbor and just pummeled Michigan. Why are we so – I understand the story. The story's great. Indiana has won 9 games total the last 3 seasons, and they've won 10 this year. It's an unbelievable story. But why do we not look at those things? Why do we not say, well, they squeezed by Michigan at home. Texas pummeled Michigan on the road. Those things don't seem to matter. So I guess my point in this is some of those things are the reasons why I think the SEC is much better. I know you can go the other way with a lot of this stuff too and say so-and-so lost to so-and-so who beat so. I know we can do all this, but all we can really do is look at what we see on the field and say, do we believe in this? The reason I believe in Texas, the reason I think Texas is one of the top 5 teams in the country is because their defense is so dominant. Their offense is sputtered. I mean, they're averaging 36, 37 points a game. Most of those are against weaker teams. But I think their defense is so elite that it's going to put them in any game against anybody in the country. And then you start looking at if you want to go through some of those other teams, like you look at Oregon, and week 1 they almost lose to Idaho. They come back against Wisconsin in the fourth quarter. How good's Wisconsin? Ohio State's had its moments of looking super elite, like they do. Penn State's another team that I'm like, why are we so high on Penn State? We're high on them because they're 9-1. Their best mark for a win is beating Illinois. Is losing at Ohio State or at home against Ohio State by 7. That's my point, I guess, in all of this is like, you can do this with all the teams. That's why I think this is going to be such a wide open playoff, which is going to be amazing. I still can't I've told you guys this like 5 straight weeks probably. I can't get over how great this playoff's going to be. It's going to be so much fun.
No, there's no doubt about it. Bob, you need a hug first and foremost. I hope there's somebody around the station that might give you a hug. I think that Texas is going to make the playoffs unless they just collapse. I don't see them losing this weekend against Kentucky. They're going to take care of business at home, and then regardless of what happens at A&M, Texas makes the playoff. Don't you think? I don't think there's any.
No, I disagree.
Really?
And it's because of everything we've talked about. I think when this is all said and done, if they lose to A&M, they won't get in the playoff because of everything we saw last night on ESPN. Everybody's dogging their schedule. Well, they haven't played anybody. Who are the 2 teams they played? Georgia, they lost. A&M, they lost. What's their best win? Colorado State, 7-3. Vanderbilt, 6-4. They have no data points. And it's no fault of their own. They went on the road to the defending national champion. Their 2 road games in the SEC are against their SEC schedule. Their 2 rivals is road games. They played Oklahoma and Dallas, which is always a great game. Oklahoma sucks this year. Like, you can't. And Georgia, everybody keeps giving me this Georgia, so great. But then they say, like, Georgia has a great win at Texas, but then Texas is mediocre. And so we, like, start this circle of all these things. But that's my gut feeling is they're going to take Alabama, Tennessee. Let me rephrase that. They're going to take all these teams that have 2 losses over Texas. And you got to remember, if A&M beats Texas, that's another team that's going to jump Texas.
That was Bob Ballou earlier today. If you missed any of it, check it out in the audio vault at sasportstar.com, powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. Bob Ballou was in rare form today. It was fantastic. And he's right. The hypocrisy of, like, is everyone loves Indiana right now. Who's Indiana played? And this Kentucky team that they're playing. When Georgia was number 1, they almost lost to them earlier this year. So, yeah, their schedule win-loss record doesn't look great, but the teams they've played have scared a lot of teams in the SEC or beaten said teams in the SEC this year. So the hypocrisy, the flippant disregard of one schedule versus another, there are so many data points and talking points where they're talking out of both sides of their mouths when it comes to the playoff committee and just national pundits in general. It's very, very comical. But thing is, Texas controls their own destiny, and they win against Kentucky. They win against A&M, and they go to the SEC title game. Everybody stops talking about it. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When we come back, Spurs Thunder. Spurs without multiple players. Their top 3 getting it done against one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Morning Huddle discussed that earlier. That's coming up right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're tired of drinking the same old beer, good news for you, friends. Karbach Brewing has you covered. They've got something for everybody in their lineup. No matter what you like, they can improve on what you've been drinking. Whether it's a Hopadillo, a Love Street, or a Crawford Bock, they've got something for everybody. And Karbach has one of the leading IPAs in San Antonio, Hopadillo IPA, an iconic Texas IPA packed with the bitterness of hops from around the world that the hop monster craves. And one of Karbach's leading brands, the top seller in San Antonio, in fact, is the Love Street Blonde. It's a state of mind, a San Antonio state of mind. It's a Kolsch-style blonde,
Hopped delicately with floral German hops, this beer has the clean malt profile that you're looking for. And if you're used to drinking cerveza, they've got that as well. The Karbach Cerveza Especial is right for you. Like I said, something for everybody. And when you're in Houston, make sure you go check out the brewery, check out all the beers they have on tap. But while you're here in San Antonio, you want to try something new, why don't you try out a Karbach?
Hot tubs, hot tubs, hot tubs. This weekend only, the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Expo is at Retama Park, presented by your local Sweetwater Hot Tubs. Hot tubs as low as $99 a month. 0% financing, save thousands. Swim spas up to $10,000 off. A huge display of hot tubs from your local family-owned Sweetwater Hot Tubs, all for immediate delivery. Hot tub swim spas and cold plunges up to 40% off. Don't miss out on your chance to save thousands this weekend at Retama Park. HotTubTreatShow.com.
Hey there, Cowboy fans! San Antonio Sports Star has something special just for you. Imagine this, you and a loved one, and the excitement of a Dallas Cowboys home game under the bright lights at AT&T Stadium. Well, thanks to AARP and San Antonio Sports Star, we're giving you the chance to make that dream come true. It's easy. Just visit sasportstar.com to enter for your shot at winning 2 tickets to see the Cowboys live. Whether it's your first game or your 100th, nothing compares to being there, surrounded by fellow fans, soaking up that incredible energy. And hey, this isn't just about football. It's about creating memories with someone close to you. AARP knows how important that is, and that's why they're proud to sponsor this special giveaway. So don't wait. Head over to sasportstar.com. Enter and picture yourself in those seats, sharing an unforgettable day. We can't wait to send you to the game. Visit sasportstar.com to enter. sasportstar.com.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. While leaning over the fence, your neighbors said you could save money bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. Your neighbor leaned over a little too much and broke your fence. Dumb news. Somehow fence wood is more expensive than wood. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and to plant really tall shrubs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now, sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first. On your timeline, no waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first, sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Spurs, incredibly impressive last night, improved to 1-1 in NBA Cup play as they beat the Thunder 110-106. And they did it while the Thunder were without Chet Holmgren. The Spurs were without Wemby, Vassell, and Sohan, their top 3 players, and still managed to get the win. The Morning Huddle, AJ Hoffman, talked about it this morning.
Nice win last night. The game really wasn't even as close as the final score would indicate, as the Thunder got back in the game late. They outscored the Spurs 27-17 in the fourth quarter in what I refer to as garbage time, which means any time that like Malachi Branham and Trey Jones are on the floor. Garbage time. Charles Bassey's on the floor. It's garbage time. But this was a solid team effort. All 5 starters in double digits. No Wemby, which was kind of a worry. Like, without Wemby, maybe they're going to get their ass kicked. No, didn't matter. They did about as good of a job as you can, especially holding the secondary players for the Thunder down, because Shea is Shea. He puts up 32 points, no shock. Fantastic game for him. But they didn't let anybody else really abuse them. Jalen Williams had some success inside, but luckily for the Spurs, he shot a bunch of ill-advised three-pointers, and that kind of limited his effectiveness. The bench was almost non-existent. 15 points off the bench, spread out amongst 5 players for the Thunder. Meanwhile, the Spurs were getting 22 from Keldon off the bench, 12 from Bassey off the bench. They just had a much better depth in this game. And if you're getting a 20 burger from Harrison Barnes, you're in trouble. I don't like the idea of Harrison Barnes being the leading scorer on this team, but if that's what they got to do on the nights where Wemby's out, hey, by all means, get the job done. Steph Castle, grinding on defense, did a good job on that end. Not the best offensive night, though. 3 of 13 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. I don't like Stephen Castle shooting threes. I want him to figure out he's not a great three-point shooter and just accept that. But that's all right. Good, solid win for the Spurs, who now move to 1-1 in West Group B of the Emirates Cup. They are in third place in that group. The Lakers are in first. They are 2-0 after beating up on the Jazz last night. The Thunder, Spurs, and Suns are all 1-1, but that's when the point differential comes into play. The Thunder plus 10 in point differential because they beat the hell out of Phoenix in the first game. And then the Spurs are third at plus 1 because they lost to the Lakers in pretty handy fashion. But the good news for the Spurs is the 2 teams they've got left to play are the 2 teams below them in the standings. So the assumption is maybe they can make up a little bit of ground. The Lakers, on the other hand, have played the Spurs and the Jazz, who are regarded as the 2 weakest teams in that group. So now they're at the Lakers, or excuse me, at Phoenix and home to OKC. So, the Lakers could still come back down to earth. There's the Spurs are still in this thing with that win last night. And I, quite frankly, didn't expect them to have a win last night. I thought that with no Wemby, it was just going to be like, oh, man, well, that pretty much throws. And I don't know why I even care about this stupid Emirates Cup.
Well, it's just the point of winning. That's
you know me, Vic. I like to win.
Yeah.
I that's all. I don't care what the game is. I like to win the game, whatever.
And the Spurs have a chance, and they're still in it. And now at 1-1, right in the thick of it, and doing it without their best players was awesome. Fred Recker says, yeah, Bassey ripped it up on defense and getting rebounds. Hell of a good rotation by Mitch Johnson. And I agree. Mitch Johnson is coaching his butt off here in these first 10 games without players, subbing in, now getting certain players back into a rotation like Bassey. Mitch Johnson doing a hell of a job. And we got to start considering, are other teams going to come poking around, and how do you keep him from leaving? This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, your chance to win tickets to go see the story so far out at the Boeing Center at Techport Arena, December 7th, right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome to Staples.
Help! My family's in for the holidays and I need gift ideas.
That's why we're here. Staples has amazing deals on everything you need. Photo gifts, laptops, and gaming systems. Even custom holiday cards and shipping solutions to send gifts to the family that can't make it.
Perfect! Have anything for Uncle Frank? I love him, but the guy is never quiet.
Noise-canceling headphones. For you.
You get it.
Unwrap huge holiday savings at Staples. And right now at Staples, save up to $350 on select computers. Ends 12/28, in-store only.
Time to work on your gift list with Black Friday deals at the Home Depot. Right now, get a select tool from top brands like Ryobi and Milwaukee for free when you buy a select battery kit. Choose from reciprocating saws, multi-tools, sanders, and more. Whether you're stocking up on power for your personal workshop or grabbing the perfect gift for someone else's. Get Black Friday tool deals delivered from the Home Depot. Limit 1 per transaction. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in-store and online.
Introducing TGL presented by SoFi, golf's newest league on ESPN and ESPN Plus. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. To learn more, visit tglgolf.com and tune into the inaugural season beginning January 7th. Keep up. It's golf.
O'Reilly Auto Parts is proud to offer a 10% military discount on many items. Get details at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
The most incredible sale of the year is on right now at Diamonds Direct. Save an extra 20% store-wide. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, and designer jewelry. It's our biggest store-wide sale of the year. This weekend only, shop never-before-seen pieces, plus designers' appearances in the store. Save an extra 20% on Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off this Friday through Sunday. For the best selection, quality, and price. Shop direct. Diamonds Direct. For details, visit diamondsdirect.com.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Shop Dell Technologies Black Friday event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Black Friday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Ready, set, shop. The Black Friday sale at Ulta Beauty is on. Up to 50% off the best gifts now through November 30th. Shop Morphe eyeshadow palettes, hair tools like Chi, and MAC foundation and lippies. And ready for this? Starting Tuesday, November 26th, snag $12 mascaras from brands like Fenty and Tarte. Plus $12 lippies from brands like NARS and Kylie Cosmetics. So don't wait. Head to Ulta Beauty today. Get all the best gifts, all at Ulta Beauty.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure. 941 San Antonio Sports Star, sasportstar.com, and on YouTube at SA Sports Star. The story so far, they're coming to the Boeing Center at Techport December 7th. Great band. Emo, punk pop, whatever you want to call it. I'm giving you the chance to go right now. If you are caller number 5 at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you want to go see the story so far out at the Boeing Center at Techport coming up December 7th, tickets online at livenation.com if you don't get them, or Boeing Center at Techport. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow night. Check on your loved ones. You never know what people are going through. Have fun tonight. We will see y'all tomorrow night right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else.